God damn, holy what the oh my 236,000 recent reviews. Oh my fuck, that is insane. Democracy at its finest. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Look at this. I refunded my game as well. Didn't leave a review though. Let me see how the reviews are doing. So yeah, the Helldivers 2 situation, I guess, is it's still getting worse. Overwhelmingly, only 15% of the last 236,000 reviews are positive. So, yeah, that's pretty fucking bad, guys. It's like a 30,000 to 200,000 ratio. It's a bad ratio, by the way. And, so, yeah, all reviews are mixed. And so, it's actually now below half are positive at this point with Helldivers 2. So, they have effectively undone... I don't know how long this game has been out for. What, February? They've undone months worth of goodwill and memes in a matter of days. That is incredible, man. Like, you don't see fuck-ups like this every day. Like, this is the kind of fuck-up that we're going to be talking about in 5 or 10 years, right? Do you remember whenever Helldivers did that one thing that was really bad? And people were like, whoa, man, we remember that was bad. That was real bad. So it's going to be a new, this is going to be a new point on the graph that people use and refer back to, right? Remember back, like, this is going to be, like, what are some other, like, really big fuck-ups? Like, whenever Blizzard made people use their real names on the forums, Xbox requiring the webcam to always be connected to the internet, Diablo 4 stash tabs, maybe, Unity, Cyberpunk... Like, I mean, this is really, like, this is crazy how bad this is. I don't think we respect how much of a fuck-up this is. It's crazy. Overwhelmingly negative reviews. Oh, there's my review. Looks like a lot of people like that one. That's nice. I hope that people agree. The truth is that a lot of people, I think, are fucking tired of this. I was so busy having fun, I forgot about corporate greed for a moment. Yeah, there you go. Check the Arrowhead CEO tweets. I'm going to look at it, okay, guys? We've got a lot of time, and we're going to go through everything today, and so that's going to be the plan. Well, I don't even have an account or anything. That's crazy, yeah. I have 101 things. Damn. To be honest, your review made me and a lot of other people do it. You're very, very rude. Yeah, I mean, like, I thought that my review was as fair as it could have been, right? At least I think so. Are we striking this game? Yeah, I would say you should. I would say you should give a negative review. If you agree, obviously, like, don't just... If you don't care about this, don't just be like, oh, well, Asmon told me to give a negative review. But if this is something you care about and you agree with what I'm saying, then yeah, I think the best way to protest it is to give a negative review and to refund if possible. Like, that is the right thing to do. Absolutely. People have been engagement farming against people upset about Stellar Blade and Helldivers. It's crazy. Well, there's always shit-eaters that are looking to rationalize eating shit. So it makes sense, honestly. Okay, so the CEO's been down in the trenches, which is always respectable, I would say. I think it is always respectable. Let's also... Somebody mentioned this in chat right now. I'm going to pull it up. Let's go ahead and take a look at Helldivers 2, and let's see if this has affected the player numbers yet. It has, but not really. I mean, I mean, I would assume Saturday and Sunday. I think that next week it's going to be lower. Here's the reason why I think that it's lower. Helldivers is 100% a dad game. It is. This is a game for 30 to 50-year-old guys that grew up loving Starship Troopers. That means that all of those dudes have jobs. So I bet it goes up way more. Like, look at this, for example. You see, like, this graph? See how Sunday was so much higher? That's because that's the days that they have off of work, right? Because they're old enough to have, like, you know, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday salary jobs at this point. And so Saturday and Sunday not being higher, bro, that means a lot more than you think it does. And so whenever we go to Monday and Tuesday next week, I bet it's going to be way fucking lower than it is right here. That's what I think is going to happen. And you can even compare it to the way it was right here. So yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, so the player base has gone down, but it's not enough yet. I'm still only extrapolating. It's not enough to prove a causal effect, right? Let's see here. Go back to there. Okay, accidentally clicked the wrong button. And I think, yeah, this is pretty much... Hopefully I go through all of them. I might miss a couple of, but you guys can just let me know. And so, yes. Anyway, so we have the CEO. He wakes up, I guess today. Woke up at 4 in the morning. And I think this really says a lot, right? Where does this guy live? Is he in America? No, he's in Sweden? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, I was thinking if he was in America, bro, he's waking up at 4 a.m. I was about to say, oh, fuck. He was too down bad. But, okay, yeah, that's not so bad then. I was about to say. Okay, so waking up to the sunshine of yesterday, replaced with the dreary drizzle and shivering winds, made me reflect on how I spend my time, those rare few moments whenever everything's perfect. Yet rain is essential to growth, and what changes spring into summer, I will just wait for the sunshine to return. So what he's saying is, I sure hope this shit, I really hope this shit blows over. That is literally what he's saying. And I'm gonna be honest, if I was him, I would be thinking the exact same fucking thing. Like, let's be honest. He's saying, fuck you. No, I don't think he is. I really don't. I think that he's doing his best. So yeah, anyway, I'll read some more of these. I mean, it's a stressful situation. So let's go back over to here. Oh, this is always very reassuring. Somebody asked, PlayStation Network isn't supported by my country. What do I do? The CEO of the company responds, I don't know. Fuck, I mean... What? What do you want me? Fucking, yeah, what the hell? What is this? Jesus Christ, yeah, at least he's honest. Yeah, he says, I don't know, like, what the hell is this? Name the people behind this decision. He can't do that. So, yeah, obviously... You know, he's doing a bit of falling on his sword. And why'd you delete the other post? I didn't proofread. Yeah, I do that a lot. Whenever it's like on the little circle of like submitting the tweet and I realize I used the wrong word. That happens to me. And so there's also another one. Sony's mishandling Helldivers 2. Shouldn't stop it from being Game of the Year. And then this is more of a conversation. Okay, yeah. All right. So this is a person who's saying, even worse, the CEO admitted that he knew for a long time about this and was still happy to take money from players who would not be able to play the game after a short while. I appreciate this honesty. It's still not less of a scam and a fraud. I don't think that's true, and I'm trying to think about why it wouldn't be true. So, they said this, but the only real argumentation that I think is strong enough to prove that it is a scam is the fact that Sony themselves said that it wouldn't require it. Because Sony should always overrule the developer because they are the publisher and they decide the way the game is distributed. So even if he did say that, I still don't think that he was scamming because, again, Sony has the final say and Sony were the ones who said that it wouldn't happen because it was on Sony's website. So anyway, this is, and I'll read below. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm just going off on you know, my own opinion. So, this is referring to something else, right? Oh, I guess I'll read the whole thing, just for all the context. Is this the moment to tweet, what, you guys don't have phones? On a more serious note, we're taking solutions with PlayStation, especially for non-PSN countries. Your voice has been heard, and I am doing everything I can to speak for the community, but I don't have the final say. Okay, so that, I think, definitely says a pretty good amount right there. And who the fuck is making these decisions? Sony, obviously. It's obviously Sony, isn't it? A lawyer said Sony might end up with a class action lawsuit against them. Yes, and I think that it would be justified. I do. Did you see the latest post from Grums? Yeah, I did. Let me get to that. Anyway, so... think of all the Warhammer you're missing out on. Let's feel you need. Yeah, sure. Let's see here. Why are you acting blameless? So... This is him responding to this. I do have a part to play in terms of taking accountability. I am not blameless in all of this. It was my decision to disable account linking at launch. so that players could play the game. I did not ensure players were aware of the requirement, and we didn't talk about it enough. We knew about it 6 months before launch, that it would be mandatory for online PlayStation titles. Wait a second. I thought that there were PlayStation titles that you can get right now that don't require this. Because my understanding, it was only Ghosts of Tsushima and Helldivers 2 that actually did require this. Single player? That's what I'm thinking, right? Is there an example of a multiplayer, though? No. Shit. Okay. Anything online related is PSN account linked? Okay, so this is true. All right, I just want to make sure that I understood this because, you see 2 exceptions, and it's like, maybe there's 3. It seems like there's not. Okay, that's fine. At least that's a standard. And so, anyway, we knew about this for 6 months. Wait, you knew about it for 6 months, then why sell it to non-PlayStation countries? And then the CEO responds, we do not handle selling the game. This is accurate. This is completely accurate. Bullshit? No, it's not. Think about it. They make the game, and then they give the game to somebody else, and then the person sells the game. That's what a publisher does. That's like the definition. So, as somebody who has, I don't know, a little bit of experience now with this is accurate. The publisher is the one that handles a lot of this stuff. That's what makes sense. So, yes, first Helldivers did not require this. It was a long time ago. And so things change. Anyway, so this is the same way with books. You can publish them yourself, but it's a bit cost effective. Well, I mean, so this is the reason why a lot of people don't self-publish. They don't self-publish because, there's localization that's really hard to do for, like, different languages. There's, like, relationships that need to be met. There's, like, different distribution channels that need to happen. It's a huge pain in the ass to do. Like, there's a reason why these companies are so big. It's because they have a huge amount of resources to do this for, right? Customer service, yes, exactly. Sometimes the customer service as well. So, yes, is Arrowhead both the game studio and the publisher? I'm genuinely asking. Sony is the publisher. That's why any of this is happening. Exactly. Sony makes the decision of when and where it is sold. Generally, right? I mean, every single thing is going to be individual, but in a general sense, that is the case. Marketing budgets, that is also true. And investment capital is usually true. As far as I know, maybe sometimes it's not. So, yes. Anyway, so this was referred to. Let's go back to originally what I was saying. Sorry, we kind of got derailed here. And this is going to be a repost. That's not what I said. So somebody said that he was lying, right, basically. But let's go ahead and look at the clarification. That's not what I said. I said we were asked to make the mandatory account. We were asked to make the mandatory account linking. Wait. This English isn't making sense to me. I said we were asked to make mandatory account linking 6 months before. Wait, I don't understand. This doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm sorry, but like I'm not understanding this. It makes sense, not to me. I.e., as the game was finishing up, and on launch day, it was mandatory, as detailed in the description in the Steam page, and it was disabled a couple of hours after launch because of server issues, which was my decision. Otherwise, the game would have been unplayable for everyone. Right? Okay, yeah, and he already talked about that before. We notified the community that we were suspending it temporarily, but we would reinstate it in the future. But yeah, working our asses off for 8 years, pouring blood, sweat, and tears, and worrying about if players will like our life's work is a good basis for a scam. Sorry for the rant. This is a lot. I appreciate your response. I wish to understand why you accepted money from customers from countries you knew were not able to play your game months down the line. So yeah, this is kind of like what the problem is that Sony informed them 6 months before launch to include the account linking. We were asked. There are just some sentences that just do not make logical sense to me. I don't know if this is some form of dyslexia, but whenever I read this, I don't really know what they're trying to say. I'm sorry. I'm assuming that's probably what it is, but it's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, transforming Swedish to English in his head? Yeah, no doubt. But I'm just expressing, like, it's hard. he's not stupid, right? I know he's Swedish. I'm just saying I don't understand it. But that's probably what the implication is. It's just that it's hard for me to understand that intuitively. So yeah, we can talk about that for 10 more minutes, but who gives a shit? Anyway, it's very clear that Sony told them that they had to do it, right? So, up to the publishers and stores, PSN restrictions are a PSN issue. I wouldn't know why. You can't make an account in different parts of the world. And so, while trying to distance yourself from the issue, I think it's best if you stop responding right now. I think that this is one of the big problems that a lot of things on the internet have, is that people that are very vitriolic and angry usually don't know anything about the situation or the industry at all. So whenever things are explained to them in a way that makes sense in the context of the way that the business is done, they get angry about it because it doesn't make sense to them, which is fair, right? I mean, again, keep in mind, these people in a lot of cases are customers. It is not their responsibility to understand how the business works. But if you want to get aggro and you want to get mad about it, and you want to actually start addressing and approaching things from a business perspective, then you don't know what you're talking about whenever you're saying this. So yeah, the average person is retarded, end of story. Yes, that's a very good point. And so anyway, this is true with almost every publisher-developer relationship. Publishers are the ones that basically deal with everything in regards to selling the game, and developers deal with everything in regards to making the game. That's generally how it works. But of course, there's going to be some push and pull there, as with anything, right? And so you see that, and let's go back over here. There's too many dumb fucks out there. Yeah. From the people, for the people, but the people aren't. Yeah, exactly. Not anymore, but right? Yeah, sure. I mean, that's not always the case, but it usually is, at least from what I understand. And so don't handle solve the game. Okay, good. And let's go back. We'll read a few more of these. I just closed down LFG's website after stress. Oh, that was something I already read. Okay, make sure I get the rest of these. And do have the part to play. I read that one too. I read this one. Okay, I think I got through everything. So, did I miss any other important posts, or is that it? We'll see if Sony wants to comply. Yeah. Do I need a PSN account to play PlayStation games on PC? No, you do not need a PSN account to enjoy PlayStation Studio games on PC, but you will need a Steam account to redeem your voucher code. Some of our PlayStation Studio titles also offer incentives. No, this isn't true. Give me the link. I don't believe it. I want to see it. I want to see it myself. No games actually have the requirement at the moment to link a PSN other than Helldivers, but Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut will also have a requirement whenever it's released. Without Palstet disabling the mandatory linking hours after launch, everyone who couldn't create a PSN account would have refunded, so in a way this is 100% his fault, not Sony's. Well, I mean, it's like, and this is generally what happens, right? Where I think that you're right about that, and in a way, but at the same time, maybe they wouldn't have refunded, and I think that he did that in order to remove the server capacity. The truth is, and this is something that's very important to keep in mind, is that the people that are making these games are not wizards. This isn't Merlin, this isn't Gandalf, this isn't fucking Dumbledore that's got his, fucking Gandalf with the Palantir, like, looking into the future, seeing what's gonna happen. Like, these are just guys that make video games, and they fucked up. Like, they obviously fucked up, but I don't think that fuck up is something that was, what do you call it? That was intentional. Does that make sense? Okay, so we've got this one right here. No malicious intent. Yes, there's no malicious intent, I don't believe. No, you currently do not need one. Okay, so there it is. So, yeah, it's right here on the Sony website, word for word. There it is. And this is why I wanted to look at it and see it myself, because I've been, especially with like AI the way it is now, and like the amount of times that we've been hoodwinked, let's be as certain as possible with this kind of stuff. Always check for the original material. This right here fucking proves it. Sony is still misleading people. They are still doing it. They are doing it at this exact moment. Look at this right here. I'm going to link you guys. You guys can go there right now and look at it yourself. You go to that link and you can see that you don't need the account. And they are the ones who are selling the game. Keep in mind, Arrowhead doesn't sell the game. Sony sells the game. Sony says this, and Sony's selling it to you. It's not even a miscommunication. It's the same thing. This could mean only for single-player games? How would it... No. That's not the way anything works. If you say this is a game, then all games would be... Are games single-player games, multiplayer games? They're both. So you would be right if it said single-player games, but it does not, which implies it is more broad. That's not the way it works. You don't start small and get big. You start big and get small by specifying. About Helldivers, I can't get a refund. My country has no PSN support. I can't play the game either. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? You wait for them to inevitably refund you, because that's probably what will happen, or they will have to go back on this. So, this right here, XD certain incentive if connected, aka the ability to play the game. Can you not read? It says you don't need to currently, which is true. You don't need to currently need a PSN account. When you buy a product and then they later make the product unusable, you are due for a refund. Imagine if your car had an optional OnStar, and then imagine a car maker, after owning a car for 6 months, required you subscribe to OnStar or they disable your car. Yep, there you go. And I think also it is incredibly misleading for them to do this. And this is the problem, is that, like, if you're selling something like this, and within 1 month this isn't going to be the case anymore, and it's not even stated, you're obviously misleading customers. Like, it's not even a question. And this is kind of like what the problem is that you have some people who, I think that this is some sort of like fucking, like, some fucking, what's the word for it? It's like a tangent from being a debate lord. It's like they're trying to figure out some sort of legal justification for why it's okay for them to say this, because saying currently, oh, well, they're not going to apply this until a month later, so currently this is true. It's obviously fucking misleading. And it's misleading in the perspective that it makes Sony more money. And I think that one thing to keep in mind with every single thing like this, especially whenever you're dealing with a huge company like this, devil's advocate entities. Yes, I don't want to hear any devil's advocate arguments. If I hear them and I see people making them, I instantly ban them. If you don't believe what you're saying, then don't fucking say it. You're wasting everybody's time. So yes, these people are being misled. And they are being misled to the benefit of Sony. And whenever you have a situation where personal gain and coincidence converge, it is probably not a coincidence. So logically, I would assume that Sony is not stating that there could be exceptions to this, or this could change in the future, or in fact that it is changing in the future, which they have said is the case. They are not doing that because it is something that would potentially hurt sales. And I think that's disgusting, because you're lying. You're lying. And I don't like this idea of, well, I mean, they didn't really lie because they used the word and, like this word is a little bit different. If you mislead people and you lead them to believe something that isn't true, or you base something off of something that you know will go away very quickly. Oh my God, who the fuck cares? Let me explain who cares. I care. Why are you here? Why are you here? If you don't care, why are you here? And you will care. Maybe not yet, but whenever this happens to your favorite game, or to your favorite service, or to your phone, your car, or something right now that we cannot conceive of, you will care. And I think deliberate, confusing, and basically misleading information is the same as lying, because the intent is the same. The intent is to mislead for gain. The intent is to mislead for profit. And whether this is a formal lie or basically a misrepresentation, I don't think that it matters, because the intent of it is the same. Functionally, it is the same. Functionally, yes, exactly. And again, the effect of it is the same. The effect of it is that somebody purchases something on a pretense that they were led to believe by an individual who has a financial tie to the thing that they are misleading people on. Willful ignorance can be a crime. It can be, and so can negligence. Absolutely. Then 2 months later, you've been enjoying your toaster, you receive mail, sign up, or you can't use it. But the wording is important. Maybe Helldivers 2 isn't a PlayStation Studios game. I think that what proves that, and that's, again, this is kind of what I'm talking about. That's true? No, it's not, because it says play PlayStation games, and this says PlayStation Studios. So, you're using two different terms. You're using PlayStation Studios and PlayStation games. And because they're referring to, assumedly the same thing, it would make sense that they are interchangeable. Oh, yeah, this disproves it even more. Yeah, this completely destroys that argument. Okay, so this is again on the official Sony website. And let's scroll down. PC frequently asked questions. Do I need a PlayStation account to play PlayStation games on PC? No. They say the exact same thing. Steam is refunding players with hundreds of hours of in-game Helldivers 2. Well, where's that? I mean, that's a quote from, where's that a quote from, right? I want to see that. I haven't heard of anybody getting a refund. So, yeah. That's what Steam should do. And so, yeah, because again, keep in mind, Steam also has to deal with all of these reports. They have to deal with all of these extra things. Like, it will cost them more money because PlayStation fucked this up. That's the ultimate thing, right? And so Steam should not like this. It's not even a question. No refund here? Yeah, I haven't heard of a lot of people getting refunds. So, somebody said that yesterday, and I was like, is this true? And then there was no evidence for it, so it's like, I bet it's probably not really true. Yeah, that kills the argument I was trying to make. Yeah, exactly. And also, like, so, and this is kind of the problem, right? Is I'm gonna pull up your thing, and I'm not like mad or anything like that, but like, just listen to this. Kills the argument I was about to make. I was gonna say technically it's published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, but not Sony Studios. But if it's on Helldivers 2 page on a Sony site, then there's no excuse. See, like, this is kind of the problem that I think some people make, is they try to look at these technicalities, and so this isn't really a one-to-one, but I'm going to give, like, kind of a parallel to where it might make a little bit more sense, at least what the essence of what I'm trying to argue is. So there's something in, like, law that's called a fiduciary relationship, and sometimes that implies that there are relationships that you have with people that you have a certain degree of trust with, that if you mislead them, even though you can be technically and legally correct, you can still be liable for misleading them because there was not the expectation of solid, hardline legal language there. This is especially true with, like, business deals between family members and business deals between trusted people outside of business. And so this kind of goes into the same concept where I don't really care what the wording says. The wording, in my opinion, misleads people to buy the game. And whenever it does that, then people waste their money. That's where it stops. That's it. Like, if it, legally the wording doesn't matter, yes, it's not presented like a contract. Yes, exactly. The word currently does not really give them a legal out, or does it? I don't think that, and this is the problem, right, is that I don't really care about whether people sue Sony or not. I don't really give a shit about that. What I give a shit about is whether people, like, understand this and push for a change. Like, Sony, it won't matter if people sue them. Okay, wow, they have to pay $20 million in a class action lawsuit. Everybody gets $30. Who gives a shit? But the real thing that matters is what this means for other games as well, and what this means for the future. The lawsuit is kind of irrelevant, in my opinion. You just explained it. Current means currently. But you just explained how currently means current, and you completely ignored it on the PlayStation website? Yes, I do, because it's not stated that it will change immediately within 1 month. Yes, it's obviously misleading. 100%. There's no reason... Like, if you don't tell people that, like, hey, by the way, in 1 month we're going to completely change everything, and this won't be the case, and you're going to spend $40 on a game that you can't even play in 1 month because of this, then you're misleading people. You know that you're doing this. Like, and again, this is the problem, is that it's about the intent, and the intent is malicious, and that's what I think the bottom line is. So yeah, anyway, we'll read some more comments here. Helldivers 2 has officially surpassed Overwatch 2 in the sheer amount of negative reviews. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so logically, let's go ahead and look at this. So out of all total reviews that have been done, there is 262,000, and 18% of them are positive, so that means that it is about 45,000 are positive, and 45 to 48,000 are positive, so that means there's about a little bit over 200,000. So yes, it has not overtaken it yet, but it probably will by tomorrow. Anyway, where's the rest of this on the phones? We know how selling the game. I think really, I feel kind of bad for the developers in this situation, and it does really suck, but I think that the only thing that you can do is just... We knew there would be 6 months down the line. Yeah, so, like, this is my perspective on this. I thought, and this would be, like, if I was them, and this probably isn't a good thing, but I'm just kind of, like, probably explaining what I think their reasoning is. I bet they thought that if they just waited for 6 months, that Sony wouldn't push it on them because the game was doing really well, and they would have more negotiating power. So it's basically like, okay, we're going to deal with this problem in the future, and we're not going to think about it right now, and the game's doing really well. Hopefully we can get them to remove it later. Now, this is obviously a bad idea, but that's what I think probably happened. That's extremely naive. Well, maybe it is, maybe it's not, right? But, with a studio like theirs, they're a pretty small studio comparatively. They've never had, like, a really big breakout success like this, so they probably don't have the context, and they just probably made a bad decision. And this is also a complete assumption. I don't know what I'm talking about at all. I'm just guessing. PlayStation is now censoring all Helldivers discussion, negatively portraying Sony. Shocker. Is this actually true? Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Yes, it's true. So, it is true. Both PS5 and Sony subreddits. Sony ponies, yeah. This is the I don't know how... I mean, dude, it's like you must be so lucky to work in the console industry whenever you just have an army of zombies that'll defend anything that you do, even if it's stupid. It's crazy, just because, like, their identity is built around your $500 box that you sell them every 5 years. Oh my god. That's some serious professional dick eating. That's what I think. That doesn't check out. Sony was prepping sales, not Arrowhead. It was Arrowhead's last-minute decision a few hours after launch. Retailers Steam and Sony store pages would need to adjust from intended model. That's not the case. I don't know what you're saying. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, so... balls deep, not in gagging. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, basically all of these other platforms are... they're shutting... Now, I think that, for example, they should allow this on the PlayStation subreddit, and they should allow it on the Sony subreddit. There is no justification for not allowing it. Let's see if I can get PS5. I'm going to pull this up and see if I can find, is there a related Sony subreddit? I guess not. Yeah. Why fans from Sony pander to Sony? Because they're invested, because they bought the console, and so they don't want to acknowledge that they might have made a bad decision with their money. That's probably the real reason. Now we can shit on Sony and Xbox? Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how this stuff has happened, man. I'm going to be totally honest. It's, Sony used to be great, at least in my opinion, and now they're doing this. So yeah. Does Japan have fewer free speech? Well, I don't think that PlayStation subreddit is being run by... I mean, like, all these people... These are all American names, right? It's not Japanese names. But who knows, right? And it seems like this is an English community, not a Japanese community. So I don't think that would really matter. But anyway, what you can see here, obviously, is that, they are censoring conversations about it. It's undeniable. It's like, do you think this massive thing that has 200,000 people isn't going to, on a subreddit that has 500 active members, it's not at least going to get 1 or 2 posts about it? Come on, man. Of course it is. I think it was predatory move by Sony. They probably had this plan for a while. Not exactly with Helldivers. They were just waiting for some IP to be a huge success with this shit move, thinking that because it was such a good game, people wouldn't care as much, don't you think? I think that that's probably why, but I think there's probably a lot of other reasons too. It's not like there's one specific reason, right? You can't even post about problems with your console on PS5. You have to post them on PlayStation. Yeah, but that's a little bit different. I think that if you're expressing concern about a certain game, or you want to talk about a certain game that's on a console, it would make sense that you could post it on the console subreddit, you know? Like, I'm sorry, but that's just insane. So yeah, let's go back. We're going to look at a few more of these. PlayStation Network won't let you delete your account. Hi there. Thanks for waiting. I appreciate your patience by holding a queue. On this occasion, we'll be working at the PlayStation ID you entered. Verify your phone number. Sorry for the mistype. Thank you. I see your contact has to close this account. That's fine. I just don't want any further changes. Sorry, but we will not be able to make changes in the account closing. That's correct. At the correct moment, I will not be able to close this account. You can try to close the account in the future, but for now, due to security reason, it will not be possible to close the account. What is the security reason? I don't believe this. No, I don't believe this. I think this could easily be bullshit. So the reason why it could be bullshit is that the phone number this person gave them could be the wrong phone number, and that's why they're not able to give them any more information. I don't trust a random Redditor. I'm sorry, I don't. Yeah, I think this is bullshit. It could be either. Yeah. Because, like, so this is the thing. A lot of customer service representatives are informed not to let people, like, basically go and say, oh, well, what is the security question? Or, oh, what is the phone number then? Because then if they do that, then they just call back later on, and then they say, oh, this is the right phone number. So as soon as you give them invalid information, they immediately shut down all contact. And so yeah, it's social engineering, exactly. So I don't think there's enough data here in order for me to, you know, like, take this one seriously. Let's go back. We're going to look at the other ones. PlayStation Network isn't supported by my country. What do I do? I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Man. Baskinator added again with another L-Tank. Well, we always knew this day would get here, and it's going about how I expected. I'm actually happy for us to be able to take action against player reports and make the game safer across the board personally. Okay. That's dumb. God forbid a PlayStation game needs a PlayStation account. But why did it need one? The game was thriving. Don't know or care. It just does. And I saw one post on Twitter that I thought was very accurate. Corporate brain rot is removing your game from sale from nearly 200 countries instead of admitting your account system is unnecessary. Because, and this is also referring to, Helldivers 2 has been pulled from sale from 177 countries. So look at this. A lot of countries now you can no longer buy Helldivers in. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up. This is a tweet from SteamDB. This is the database that I usually use, for example, for all of these charts and everything. And so is no longer purchasable in countries. It's now received 215,000 negative reviews. This package cannot be activated or purchased in specific countries. It's 121, not 177. Oh, okay. So we're getting new information. I actually, yeah, it might not be 177 countries, and it might only be 121. Guys, it's only 121 countries. So here's what's really funny about this. It's that you think about how stupid this is. That Sony is pushing this through, blocking sales from the majority of countries in the world, as far as I know. All just to make sure that people get a PlayStation Network account. Like, this is an instance of the tail wagging the dog. I don't even know if that's accurate. It's more than that. It's so outrageous. It's like, what? How does this matter so much? That's how valuable your information is? Yeah. Bad hill to die on? Yeah, exactly. Cutting off your nose to spite your face. Shooting yourself in the foot? Bro, this is like cutting off your whole leg. That's capitalistic absurdism. All this happened because some fat boomer executive wanted to have an impressive slide on his PowerPoint. Well, no, I don't think that's the reason. So this is why I think Sony is doing it. I think Sony is doing it because they know if, like, basically they have conversion metrics, right? And so they probably have conversion metrics of the amount of users that are playing Helldivers 2, and then the amount of users that go into and pay for other PlayStation games. And then they probably have existing metrics for the amount of users that have PlayStation Network accounts and how often they spend money. And the disparity between the two is probably quite large, or at least it's substantial at scale. So it was used as a justification that if we make all of these people get accounts, they will be this much more likely to spend money, and this will result in this much projected income. That's what I think is happening, and that's why I think they're doing it. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Maybe there's like a perspective I'm not seeing, but like that's the most common sense thing, right? Fucking shareholders. It's bad logic. It is bad logic if you count in the context of consumer behavior, but I don't think that they understood that. It's data for shareholders, yes. They could also just want a good quarterly report. Well, here's what's also interesting. What if they still don't care because they're still making more money? And if you think about it logically, okay? So if you have, let's say, 200,000 users, and the 200,000 users have a 10% chance of spending money, and assuming it's the same amount of money, or if you have 100,000 users, and they have a 30% chance of spending money, you will make more money with 100,000 people than you will with 200,000. So if the disparity between the two is large enough, Sony will probably still sit on this and try to push it through. You see what I'm saying? They're scared of a precedent case? Yes, exactly. Sony is no stranger to making brand withdrawals. No, they're not. Yeah, did Bobby go to Sony? I guess so. It's probably Steam, so they don't have to fuck around with future refunds? Yeah, maybe. Have you noticed all this happened after the Stellar Blade bullshit? Feels like too much of a coincidence. I actually think that it completely is and has nothing to do with each other. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So, yeah. Helldivers 2, they've canceled sale in... How many countries are in the world? Let's go ahead and look this up. How many? I think it's 165. I read that somewhere online today. How many countries are there? 195. I was wrong. There you go. 195. Okay, so they have canceled sale in the majority of countries in the world. That's right. Over half of the countries, they are no longer selling this game to them because they need your data. Now, if that's not a good argument for privacy laws, I don't know what is. But I'm sure it will change nothing. So yeah. Oh, man, that is crazy. How do they make more money? It's not a big case for Sony. This only affects PC games. It does, but the fact that it affects them with PC games, like, there's no way that the guys at Sony aren't thinking we can make way more money by selling on PC too. Like, it just makes sense they would do that. What data do they need to sign up for a PlayStation account? I don't remember because I signed up for mine a long time ago. I know that for some people they need, like, where you live, like all of it. Yeah, basically, like, an email address. Sometimes they need apparently in the UK, they need a government ID for, like, a specific law that's there. And then I think that they need an address. And then they also have a card on file. So having a card on file is a very important thing. So a lot of games do this. And so this is one thing that gacha games do. So gacha games do something that's called, like getting your foot in the door or breaking the ice, right? And so what that means is that, here's the best example that I can give. This is the best example of this practice. Blizzard gave a masterclass on it. This is only 570% value. Well, the other one is 800% value. The point is all the same. What they do is they ask you to spend $1. And do you know what you have to do to spend $1? You have to put in your credit card information. How much do you want to bet that you lose people? Because every website and every online retailer, including things that I have done personally, that's how I know this. Let me see if I can... I'm going to make a chart so you guys understand it. Okay. Visit website. Browsing. Putting product in cart. So in each one of these, you lose people. And you can see how this happens, right? How many of you guys have put something in your cart, and then as time goes on, maybe you're like, you get to checkout and you decide you're not going to buy it. So every retailer checks this, and they know exactly how this works. Why do you think they all have cookies? The cookies track this shit. So let's say you're starting with 1,000 people. Then now you're shopping for product. Now you're at 900. Putting the product in the cart, well, now you're only at 500. And now buying the product, you're at 150. But what if the checkout was easier if you could go to one that already had your credit card on file? It takes that 150 to a 200. You just made 50 more sales because you already had the credit card on file, and that barrier to entry does not exist. That is exactly why these companies want you to spend $1. Because $1 removes the future barrier to entry, and this also plays into another sales technique, which is a rapid sale. Making decisions, so people make logical decisions slowly and emotional decisions quickly. So the more that you can keep somebody in the emotional decision state, the better you're going to have, the better chance you're going to have on making a sale with them. So what you do is that every single second that some guy spends on your store thinking, is it a good idea for me to spend $40 on a video game helmet? Well, the probability of them thinking this is a good idea is going to go down every second that they think about it. So if you can remove the seconds that they would need in order to buy and put in their credit card information, and you can remove those seconds, well, now you only have 20 seconds that they have to think about it rather than a whole fucking minute. That's debatable. It is not, and it is different for every person, but this is something that is true in a general sense. Maybe you're special, maybe you're different, but if you look at an average, this is the truth. Whenever it comes to shady sales techniques, I know all about it. Think about 4 times about it, and instead they make you think about it 1 time? Exactly. Like, how many of you guys, I've had this happen, how many of you guys were going to buy something in a video game, but they ask you to put in your card information, you don't know your number, and you have to get up to get your wallet, but you don't want to get up, so you don't buy it? That's how fat and lazy gamers are, and that's why they want to have your credit card information on file. Asman, can we talk about how all this conspiracy talk still doesn't affect your ability to create a PlayStation account? Sure. You're a person who's defending it. Can you explain this? You're typing this. Why are you typing this? What is your point? Can you just briefly summarize what your point is? So, and also, I understand that I might be going off on a few tangents here with, like, for example, like the retail shopper and everything, But hopefully you guys see how all of these things are connected, right? This is a web. And like all of these things put together create the situation that we're in now. And if you don't understand the web, you're only seeing one part of it, well, you're not seeing the whole thing. And you're not going to understand it as well. So yes, they are all connected. I think so. Let me go over here. I'll see what are you trying to say? Yes, there's 2 reasons everyone keeps saying about why they don't want to make an account. Okay. All right. Also, by the way, whenever you're talking about conspiracy talk, this is generally accepted knowledge in psychology that has been tried and tested over 100 years. This isn't something that, like, I just made up. Like, do you really think that this is, like... What is this? It's not much of a conspiracy if it's backed by facts. Yeah, then everything is conspiracy. Sales tactics are real. It's not a conspiracy. They are. There's a lot of really good ones, too. Somebody in chat said something very smart. I really, really like what you said. I didn't notice your name. I'm gonna let Vega Boy type it out. Was it me? It was you. It was me? Yeah, it was you. Okay. 1, because there's regional locked issue, and 2, they said they're going to do a workaround, the other being security. They're all worried about being hacked, but if you're concerned about them on the internet, one way or another, it was be exposed. Okay, here's just what's going to happen. You're permanently banned right now from the stream, and until you sign up for the Starforge newsletter by giving us your email and your information, you're not going to get unbanned. Yeah, you have to sign up for our thing. And let us know when you do, and then we'll unban you, okay? Sounds a little harsh, but fair. The reason why I did that, and the reason why I think that's such a good argument, is because everybody always makes arguments in the context of somebody else's, it being somebody else's problem and it not happening to them. Most people who use these arguments are saying it's not a big idea to me. This is not annoying to me. Well, okay, well, let me do something that's annoying to you, and then we'll see how you react to it. That's the thing. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, I think that is a... So whoever said that in chat's a fucking genius. Why else would entire corporations have marketing departments if they weren't effective at pushing predatory techniques? To the guy saying it's a conspiracy. Oh, well, he can't read that anymore because he's banned. Yeah, he's banned because he's not signed up for the newsletter. I mean, come on. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, it's just... All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter. It's easy. So, yeah, I mean, what a fucking idiot, right? Anyway, so overwhelming negative, there you go. Helldivers 2 has the most negative reviews amongst all paid games. Okay, that is a lot. Holy shit. Helldivers 2 developers watching Sony destroy 7 years of work and critical success in one day. Another joke, Murray? There it is. Oh my fucking god. Wow. I don't even know what to say. I don't. And, holy shit. Is this the same company that went to court and with Microsoft for acquiring Blizzard to do this? Yeah, it is. And it's also the same company that's had more data breaches than, like, anybody else, man. It's insane. Arrowhead wasn't the ones who allowed the game to be purchased via PSN descriptions. Pirate Software's tweet about this. Oh, yeah, I saw this before. Let me go back over and make sure that I look at this. Yeah, Sony has now removed access to Helldivers 2 in every region. It can't make a PSN account. And let me go back. Yes. The last few days of watching Sony gut Helldivers 2 is a grim reminder of the pitfalls of working with a publisher. Make sure that you know what you're getting into before you sign your game away. There are good publishers out there, and we've seen them kick a lot of ass for indies. Always have a good lawyer review your contracts and have everything in writing. I hate seeing this kind of thing happen, especially with such a good game. It's been a long goal of mine, either start a publishing house for indies or start working with one to the lines with goals I have. Situations like this make me want to bump that higher up in the queue. This is absolutely fucking true, and I'm going to be honest, like, I think that this has been a big problem for a long time, and I hope that it stops. I hope that more people, and also I think that as time goes on, it will be easier for people to publish games in general, and if publishers can't add value on their own, then that's going to be it. You know, people aren't going to use them. So yeah, that's why you don't trust big companies. Well, you shouldn't trust big or small companies. I don't like the mindset, guys. I really don't like the mindset of, oh, well, we're not going to trust this company because it's very big. Or we are going to trust, because there are small companies that are also scammers. Remember Barney? You know, like, who made, like, all the classic WoW guides? Well, she got scammed out of, I think, was it 38 or something like that, $1,000 because of just one piece of shit. Literally one piece of shit scammed her. That was it. It wasn't like this is some big conspiracy with some massive company. No, there's the plushies. Yeah, it's the plushies. And so the whole idea that, like, you know, small companies are good and big companies are bad is not true. Bad companies are bad, good companies are good. That's just how it is. Whether they're big or small. The difference is all big companies are scammers. I don't know. I don't think that's true. Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have publishing agreements with big studios and everything is fine. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. That's some companies get big because they're good. Yeah. Like, look at Amazon. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I'm an Amazon fan. I like Amazon. And I'm not, I don't have to say that on Twitch, right? Amazon also, just in case anybody doesn't believe that, Amazon also created fake accounts to pretend to be union workers, or sorry, anti-union people, to make people not want to have unions in Amazon warehouses. So Amazon is fucked up in a lot of ways, but from a consumer perspective, I think Amazon is great. Like, if I want something delivered, I can just get it delivered. That's amazing. So yeah, Microsoft has been doing good. That's what's so stupid and weird. Microsoft came out of nowhere, and it seems like they have relatively consumer-friendly practices? What the fuck? What the fuck? Why? Why are you guys doing this? Yeah, what happened? Really it's so weird, isn't it? Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Valve as well. Yeah, there you go. Look at Valve. Valve is a great example. So, there you go, guys. That's the current update with Helldivers. I can really commend Pilestead for, you know, going down there and getting in the trenches and defending, you know, and also I think it's good that he's doing this because that way it's not other employees that are getting harassed. Everybody's going to be talking and thinking about him. So, I think really it's one of those things that it's just so disappointing to see with a game like this, and I hope that with all of this negative attention, Sony can rethink their perspective and their decision. And what I think Sony should do is I think that they should still try to incentivize you to have a PlayStation account. And before you get mad, listen to what I'm saying. I don't think it should be a requirement, but I think it would be great if Helldivers 2 gave you something cool, or maybe gave you an advancement for something cool if you had a link to the account. That's what they should have done the whole time. Just give you a cool skin. Give you like a PlayStation cloak or something. Probably not. I feel like that would hurt immersion. But something similar to that. Maybe just with PlayStation colors. That's all they would need to do. They don't need to force people into doing it, heavy-hand it. People will do it if the rewards are there. How about no? Well, then don't do it. That's my advice. Don't do it. And I think the problem isn't the fact that it's there. The problem is the fact is that it's mandatory. And literally what Microsoft did for Minecraft, yes, it's smart. Make it optional that if you do it, you get a little bonus. You get something special, like a little cosmetic or something. It's so fucking simple. It's so simple. Like, Blizzard did this with authenticators and WoW. Right here. That's my authenticator right there. I've had it ever since, I think this is Cataclysm or Wrath. I don't remember exactly which one. And yeah, you got 4 extra bag slots. And a lot of people did it. And it was no problem. But it was not mandatory. So it's crazy that, like, there's so many use cases of this and instances of it being successful, and somehow they still can't figure it out. So yeah, that's what my opinions are. That's what I think. I think this is a great thing. It's a great thing if they do that, but right now, it's hard for me to say if Sony is going to do this or not. Yeah, you're playing Mop Remix? I don't know. I haven't decided. I blame Todd Howard. Yeah, true. If you use the authenticator to get extra bag spaces, yeah. Sony's kind of stupid. I think Sony is looking at it from the wrong perspective. Because, like, I have accounts on these other websites, like Path of Exile, etc., and add value to having a Sony PlayStation account. One of the reasons why, like, so this is the problem, is that a lot of people view, like, how to solve a problem that customers have, and the way that you solve that problem is removing what the problem that the customer says is, right? Like, for example, this is too expensive. The solution to this is too expensive is not always to make it cheaper. It is to sometimes, and in my opinion, in a lot of times, increase the value of the product so the user feels like they are spending more money on it in a way that makes sense. So, yes, provide more value. So, yes, there are 2 different ways that you can make somebody do something. You can make it easier to do, or you can make it give more value. And I don't know why Sony just doesn't give more value. Just give more value, and then things will be fucking fine. Sony does what Nintendo don't? Yeah, exactly. They're not stupid. They know what their revenue will be. What they did not anticipate is the pushback. Well, then they're stupid. That's my argument. But yeah, I know that you're right. I think that on a book level, you are right. And I bet on a book level, Sony would have made more money, but the pushback was so big that they probably won't now. They've done it before for other games like Spider-Man Remastered. There's an option to link your account for an in-game reward. Yeah, and it's super easy. I don't know why they don't do that. Yeah, someone at Sony should have expected this, honestly. Well, I will say that in their defense, we have never seen such a concerted effort from the gaming community against something like this that seemingly is so small. And I've got to say, and I am so glad to be wrong about this. I was worried that people were just going to eat it and just, like, let it happen. And that still could maybe happen in the long term. But I am so... what's the word for it? Inspired. I'm so inspired by the fact that people were so adamant and vocal about pushing back against this. This is awesome. I haven't seen this kind of energy in the gaming community for such a long time. This is great. You guys know? You guys see what I'm saying? Yeah, gamers unironically rising up, man. It's because the game is so goal-oriented. Sony trains soldiers for their own demise. Yeah. Well, tired as fuck from idiots ruining our games for the last decade? Yeah, true, man. Absolutely. They should run 2 different servers, one through a PlayStation Network, one without? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know what they're going to have to do, but, you know, I'm really... I hope that Helldivers 2 players, I hope they hold the line, because that's the only thing. If you want the game to be better, sometimes you have to not play it, right? It's tough love. So, yeah. To be honest, Sony is the best camera manufacturer. I agree. This is a Sony A7i, or AI3 or something like that. I've had it for like 6 years, 7 years. And I've been using it. It's been great. And I haven't ever really had problems with it either. Canon's better? Yeah, for me, Sony I think is great. But, you know, I would agree. But this isn't a camera. So, yeah. Any thoughts? And so, yeah, this is just ridiculous. Oh, King Theoden, yes. Bernard Hill, the guy who played King Theoden, passed away. Very, very fucking sad. You know, it's, you know, Lord of the Rings were my favorite movies growing up, and they still are. They're still my favorite movies. They are, in my opinion, the greatest movies ever made, and I fucking love them, so this is very sad to see. It was. Yeah. Rohan will answer. It was so good, wasn't it? It was so fucking good. Yeah, movies did it. What was this here? Movies did it the book justice? Yeah, they sure did. They absolutely did. Only actor to be on 2 movies with 11 Oscars. Jesus. Yeah, there it is. Helldivers CEO dropped a new tweet. Let me see if I can find it. It deeply saddens me that Helldivers game is also being review bombed due to the recent controversy. What's next? Review bombing, Magicka, and Gauntlet as well. Other PlayStation titles? I was like... I felt like a fucking boomer because I thought, like, Gauntlet, isn't that a Midway game? Like, wait a minute. Like, yeah, because I don't remember being PlayStation whenever I was... Yeah, it's Chuck E. Cheese back in the day. It wasn't... What do you mean? Clueless, yeah, what the hell is this? And so Beyond I'll take? Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is really what I would say to this. It does suck. They made a remake? Yeah, they made a remake for, like, PlayStation 2 or 3, right? But it was still kind of shitty. And that was the last Gauntlet game that was made. It was, like, somewhere around, like, 2007, somewhere around there. Yeah, it was horrible. And then, like, no, it was after Dark Legacy. It was one game after Dark Legacy, then it died. He's saying he's bummed that the first game getting review bombed because of the second's controversy. Oh, I didn't read that. Helldivers game is also being review bombed due to the recent Helldivers 2 controversy. Yeah, that sucks. No, actually, you know what? No, that totally makes sense. Yeah. That sucks. That makes sense then? Yeah, actually, it makes total sense, and I think it's totally fair. He's saying that it sucks, like, for him, that his other game that he made that has nothing to do with Helldivers 2, well, it does, but, like, it's not really connected to, like, any drama, is also getting review bombed just as, like, friendly fire, basically. Or collateral damage, better term. Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, it sucks, man. It really does. Unironically sucks. I think that's totally fair for him to say that. Just let Sony in, guys. Oh, man. This looks like a cool game. Let me try install our third-party launcher. Install our third-party launcher. Install our third-party launcher. Yep. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Epic Games, EA Play, Ubisoft, Battle.net, Epic Games. Oh, the Epic Games Store is the same thing. Let's get some other ones. Rockstar. I don't plan those. Origin. There, I forgot about that one. The Riot Launcher. Good one. GOG. Xbox Launcher. Xbox Marketplace Launcher, yes. Ooh. I just want it on Steam, man. You know what Steam feels like to me? I remember there was a meme where it was a Mario Party minigame, and it was like all 4 players are on like an ice, like a piece of ice, and they have to knock each other off, and 3 players knock each other off, and then they're all falling off and, you know, like running around trying to survive, and then there's one guy that just stands still and does nothing, and he still wins. And I just think that's pretty relevant right now. I do. I think it's pretty relevant. Luigi, yes, I know. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it. To be honest, we shouldn't want it all on Steam. The problem is their concurrents suck. Epic Launcher did get somewhat better, though. I think really the problem is that the other... And like, that's a good point. I don't know. I think also, like, it's the amount of data that you need to input, too. I want it all on Steam. No, and I understand that, but that person brings up a good point. The monopoly is bad. I think that's true. Yeah, people just don't want the middleman. Yeah, well, they don't want to have other barriers to entry. I think that's the main thing. Steam is issuing refunds for Helldivers 2, even if you have a great deal of hours on them. Steam refund status update, success. We've issued the refund to your Steam wallet. The funds will be shown now as pending and will become available to you. Oh, what the fuck's doing this? Can we ban people? Can we find out who's reporting this and just ban them? But yeah, W Steam. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like, it doesn't say how much time this person has spent. Oh, playtime. Oh, there it is, right there. It says playtime 225 hours, and they got a full refund. Look at the photo. I guess actually it's already big enough. Purchased the 18th of February. Subtotal $40. Playtime 225 hours. Total refund $43. They got all their money back. Because again, think about it. It makes Steam look bad whenever this happens. Because this is also a problem that people have. Like, a lot of people aren't going to be able to discern and figure out, oh, it's actually Sony that's doing this. There will be people that are going to be mad at Steam for it. Because Steam is the one that's not letting them play the game. They don't understand, oh, it's a developer-publisher relationship and inside to the industry. They're just going to think, why my game don't work? I had game, don't work. Where it work? Why I give you $40 worth of game? I gave you $40. There's no game? I'm scam. I am scam. That's it. I can't think about it beyond that.